So one of the important things from my perspective on staying engaged with your sphere of influence is it's a great way to create sustainable income in this industry. And we want different lead pillars, right? It's like investing. If you had $100, would you put it all into one stock? Or would you maybe pick 3 stocks to put it into? You kind of want to have a diversified portfolio, right? Same thought process with how you conduct your real estate business and where your leads come from. You don't want to rely just on one lead source. You can, a lot of agents do, but it exposes you to a little bit more risk. For example, if you only rely on Zillow leads, that's your one source of business and you put 100% of effort into that. What if that ends for some reason? I don't anticipate it. It's not going to end, don't get me wrong, but that's just an example. Wouldn't that be terrible? You're going to have to really hustle to try to get new lead source. For example, same thing with sphere of influence. What if you only put 100% of your time and resources into sphere of influence, and then you moved across the country to New York, right? Not to say that sphere of influence doesn't benefit you if they're out of state, they do, but that's a great example. If you moved out of the state and now you're going to have to start all over. So this is kind of an idea of just diversify where your business is coming from. So with that said, I'm going to pop open and share my screen here, the calendar. I'm going to update this occasionally. I built this to give everyone a place to start. There's no written rule that this needs to be your cadence every month when touching and reaching out and engaging and staying in front of your sphere of influence. This is a place to start. I can confidently say that if you incorporated this, executed this monthly calendar and weekly activities into your business, you will be successful. You will get business. You will create a sustainable source of income. And staying engaged and in front of your sphere of influence, that's the main drive to do it, is to create sustainable income. So I broke this down into a few simple categories for you. I'm going to give you an overview of this doc. So this is just the calendar of monthly activities. The next page is something that I recommend that you do quarterly. And I broke that down and gave you some ideas. And all of these events in each of the days have resource links down here for a deeper dive into what it means, how to do it, and some additional resources. At the bottom here is the slide deck just to review the training I did on activating your sphere of influence. And then the second link down here is a third-party vendor that helps you with social media content and really does a lot of the heavy lifting. And so you can be out there in front of your clients, but still get some social media done. So let's scroll back up here to the monthly calendar itself. Birthday wishes. I think that birthday wishes are one of those really easy things we can do to stay in front of our sphere of influence that doesn't cost you anything, and it is super impactful. Let me give you some ideas. We'll go down to the resource link down under here. I have it under Facebook birthdays, and I'll show you why. So you just click on this, it'll open up another doc. So one of the great ways to leverage birthdays is through Facebook. The idea of this is to send them a direct message. When you send them a direct message in Facebook, it means a lot more to them because it shows that you took the time rather than just saying happy birthday or liking a birthday wish on their page. The other idea of this is when you take the time to wish everyone a happy birthday in Facebook, ask them, say, hey, by the way, I'd like to send you a little something. Can I get your home address? Or can I get your email address? And they will 99% of the time say yes. Now you have their contact information greater than just being connected with them on a social media platform. And then you can take that information and update your Sierra account. Now you have information where you can send them a comparable market analysis. You can put them on your monthly e-newsletter. You have more contact information from them. So going through the birthdays once a week is a really good thing to do. What I do is every Monday, I go into Facebook and do my happy birthday wishes. The other thing you should do with happy birthdays for your kind of like high-end private clients, send them a birthday card, a handwritten birthday card. And you'll find that you don't have to write a lot if you do it once a week. So that's certainly something you should do. Social media posts on Tuesday. Do a social media post several times a week. I have it here, social media post on Tuesday, a video post on Thursday, a social media post on Friday. You should be doing a social media post 3 days a week or more. This is free, and I want to clarify something with a social media post. It's not measured by how many likes you get. It's not measured by how much engagement you get. Sure, that's a really, really good indication, but here's the reality of it. It's more so how many people actually see it. That in itself reminds everyone that you're connected to that you are a realtor. There's the value in it. So if you are getting discouraged that you don't have enough likes or comments or engagement, please don't let that discourage you, because you're still putting yourself in front of people every time you post. You're reminding them. Let's go to down here to the resources page on the social media. I give you some ideas on what to do. This is part of the training I did. 70% personal, 30% real estate seems to be a proven ratio to really keep your clients connected with you on social media. If you blast them with 100% real estate stuff, they might just leave, because they first connected with you most likely because of they know you, they like you, they trust you, they met you at a networking event. So they like to learn about you. They want to hear about you. They find you interesting. And then you pepper in real estate stuff at about 30%. That's just a great cadence to use. Categories, you could do personal, local tips, real estate, and then home tips is kind of a good 4 categories to really dip into all of the time. With that being said, I want to go over to social media, coffee, and contracts. So a lot of people get freaked out about social media. Oh my God, it's so much time. I can't come up with any content. Guess what? I have a hard time coming up with content as well. That's why we have third-party vendors that do the heavy lifting for us if you are not a great content creator. Coffee and Contracts is one of the ones that I recommend, highly recommend, because of the content that they have for you and the conversion rate that they, content that they create converts very, very well. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on this, and then we'll move from social media stuff. On your dashboard, by the way, this is a membership. You have to pay for it. This is something that you would do on your own. It's like $55 a month. And if you commit to doing social media at least 3 days a week, this will pay you back in spades. For example, on the Content Vault, the Content Vault gives you all kinds of templated social media assets, and you can filter it by category. Let's say you want to do some postcards for your mailing, or you want to do a post about sellers. You can all the way down here to sellers. You could do buyers. You could do local restaurant updates, social media about a market update, all kinds of really awesome things. So if I wanted to, let's say this is a new listing. That's a listing website. One moment. Here we go. What's in my car? Just this random content that has proven to really create engagement. When you click on that particular post, it gives you a template, and you can open it up in Canva to easily edit it with your contact information, your logo, your name, and you can adjust the text as well. And everything is laid out to format social media. And it gives you a few cover pages and then what you have in your car. This is like, what does a realtor have in their mobile office, right? And this is just one example of hundreds of social media posts that are all curated for a real estate agent. So again, you can go into many different categories, go back into the filter. You can create door hangers. You can create guides and lead magnets, internal checklist. If you want to give to your client, here's an internal checklist. Actually, this is an internal checklist for you, but there's an internal checklist for preparing for a photo shoot. There is a checklist for, a moving checklist. What do you need to do before you move? So I really recommend that you poke around in Coffee and Contracts, take a look at it. They have a free trial as well. It just offers a lot of resources and content for it and does a lot of the heavy lifting. 5 phone calls. 5 phone calls a week. Let's go ahead and open up that resource. Phone calls and note cards. This is one page that takes care of both of those activities that you should be doing. So the phone calls, you really want to have 5 people in your sphere of influence that you've targeted to call once a week. And you should have 5 people in your sphere of influence that you've targeted to write note cards once a week. And if you schedule time to do that in the morning, which is the best time to reach out and engage to your sphere of influence is like, 9 o'clock in the morning, because after that you get into meetings and then you're out in the field doing activities such as inspections and showing homes and broker tour and networking. So you really want to get this type of activity done in the morning. If you write 5 note cards a week and 5 phone calls a week, it's going to keep you in front of your sphere. I also have in here an industry event. Who has an example of a good industry event that you can go to once a month? And this is a once a month activity that you should be doing.
I went to the Monterey County Association of Realtors meeting, and I feel like that counts as one. And then I also saw that MCAR is going to have a annual meeting coming up pretty soon at Embassy Suites. So that's another one.
That's 2 awesome examples, and you've right here, car events. So I have some links here for you, and some other ideas. Your local association of realtors has a monthly meeting. Go to it. B2B groups, B&I groups, sell-buy meetings. A sell-buy meeting is something that's supplemental to the MLS. It gives you an opportunity to present listings that are coming up, even before you put it on members only or coming soon. Or if you have a buyer and you have buyer needs, you can present your buy needs as well. But this is more than just understanding what might be coming on the market. This is putting yourself in front of the broker community. This is building relationships with other realtors outside of the C2 Realty group. Super impactful. Home improvement expos is a great one that I think is overlooked. Anything home, all things home, if it's an event, if you have an opportunity and you have the time and resources, do it. So Summer to Remember is an event that I hope all of you go to. It's the event that we're putting on. Inman events are interesting. A lot of people like to go to those. And of course, the National Association of Realtors event, they have a really huge one once a year as well. I went to their one in Orlando a few years ago. It was great networking opportunity. These networking opportunities also create a lead source for you. Here's how that happens. Reaching out to realtors outside of your area and establishing a referral relationship is golden. Especially everyone here lives in the Bay Area, desirable place to live, or in the Central Valley. People, agents in San Diego, agents in Austin, Texas, agents in Idaho, I don't care. Pick a place on the map. People are moving to California, into our area. So you want to be the one that they refer to. And typically it's only a 25% referral, which is great. I'll gladly pay 25%. Heck, I'll pay 40%. And I have before because I wouldn't have had that business otherwise, right? So establishing relationships within the broker community is golden. That's why I encourage you to go to an industry event once a month. Also, post a 1-minute video once a week. And Coffee and Contracts, the website that I introduced you to a moment ago, actually has beautiful scripts. You don't even have to think about what to post. Coffee and Contracts does all of this heavy lifting for you. They have it figured out. They have the template, they have the script. The only thing you need to do is film yourself, read the script, and then pop it into the template and post it. You're done. I encourage you to do that once a week. Farm prospecting is another activity that you should do once a month. This is a once a month activity. And it's an expensive one, depending on how many people you have in your farm. I'll tell you, I have a farm, and it took me almost 2 years to start getting traction. Now it's 2 to 3 deals a year out of it, and it is very, very worth it. Spend about $300 a month on it. Seems like it's a lot of money. It's a commitment. But if you stick to it, you will become the neighborhood expert. And there's a great guide here, another great resource that I pulled right from a membership that you already pay for through your NAR membership. It's RPR. This is an ultimate guide to geographic farming. It's one of the best ones that I found when I was researching this. It gives you, the logic behind it, identifying the right neighborhood, and the steps on how to launch a farm and what you need to do. So this resource is available for you here with this link. Couple of things that I've learned: do not miss a month because consistency is key. Always provide information of value. And also supplement your farming with getting involved with your local community events. You're becoming the neighborhood expert, so you want to be involved in the neighborhood as well. And this is something that I kind of supplement as well. Once a quarter, I go through my farm and I knock on everyone's door because they're getting a postcard every month from me. They're probably on my email e-newsletter list. And then I'm knocking on their door once a quarter and saying hello. It's a great way to stay in touch. In-person meeting. Really encourage you to do an in-person meeting. What is that? What does that mean? An in-person meeting is probably somebody that knows you, likes you, and trusts you. They're part of your sphere of influence. Or they might be somebody within the industry, right? And don't overthink this. When you meet somebody a few times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be about sales. In fact, it should not be about sales. It should be about relationships. So catching up with an old friend, and so where's the value in that, Mike? They already know me, just catching up. How is that staying in front of your sphere of influence? They know tons of people. That friend you're sitting down with knows tons of people, right? So you taking the time to do that, it's going to be a memorable experience. You're chatting over coffee, about 45 minutes or so. They're going to leave that experience with you, remembering you, knowing that you're a real estate agent, and really appreciating the time that you gave in initiating that get-together. It goes a long way. Ask a lender to meet for coffee. That's a great industry vendor in which you can just meet for coffee and chat. Get in front of these people a couple of times a week, and that is also proven to drive paychecks for you. The volunteering. Have a great resource down here for you. You should volunteer once a month. And I'll give you some ideas here. And you can really take a deep dive into this, on your own time. But there is a plethora of volunteer opportunities you can do. Contact your local food pantry, support local nursing homes or kids in the hospital by assembling holiday gift bags. Contact your local animal shelter. My recommendation here is to pick something that resonates with you. Like what what do you do? Let's put real estate aside. What do you want to do? What moves you? Is it animals? Is it helping youth? Is it volunteering time for charitable organizations such as the food bank or whatever it is? Maybe it's volunteering at golf tournaments. Hit up Daniel. I'm sure they need volunteers all the time for golf events. These are things that you should do to get involved with your community, do something that resonates with you, because one, you're going to enjoy it, and two, you're going to make relationships, connect with people that are like in your tribe. Then we move into the quarterly things that I think you should be doing. A seller seminar, buyer seminar, client appreciation event, fire hardening and landscaping seminar, Prop 19 downsizing seminar, and of course, around the holiday season, a client appreciation event and sending out holiday cards and or gifts. So let's take a look into that a little bit. On the client events, and I would do these once a quarter. And again, they don't have to cost you any money. If you do have a budget, you can kind of level it up a little bit if you want. Client appreciation event, resources there, click of the mouse. And I give you a bunch of ideas of events and gifts that you can do. There's a lot of things in here that won't cost you a dime. A couple of hints: team up with a vendor, team up with a lender, team up with a title officer, team up with a home inspector, team up with with a stager that can help you organize the event. They have a reach as well, so they can invite their sphere of influence. You're inviting your sphere of influence. You have a full house, which is fantastic. How to level up your event are events that are probably going to cost you a little bit more money. I give you an idea of how to promote your event as well, some ideas. You can really leverage an event. So it's not just that day of the event itself in which you're getting exposure and providing value. Leading up to it, you're doing social media posts. You're letting people know about it on your e-newsletter. You're talking about it to friends and family. So you get a lot of traction out of this. Like, month and a half before the event and in a couple of weeks after the event. The beautiful thing also is it gives you a reason to follow up with your sphere of influence after the event, because you can ask them, how did you like it? What was your biggest takeaway? And you can have a continued conversation after the event as well. Lots of traction. I also get into real estate client appreciation gifts, which is also something you're going to be probably doing once a year, usually in the last quarter of the year. Think about what your plan is for closing gifts. Think about what your plan is for holiday gifts for those clients that closed a transaction with you that year. The reason why I mentioned that, kind of carve that out, you can't send a gift to a 300-person database sphere of influence. That's cost prohibitive, right? What I do is I send a holiday gift to the people that closed a transaction with me in that given year. So they get a closing gift when they close on their house or sell their house, and they get a holiday gift as well. And Etsy has a lot of great examples. They have a real estate agent closing gift category with a lot of great ideas, really inexpensive. One of the ones that I love is they have architectural drawings of the house that they sold and the house that they bought. So you send them a picture, and it could just be a picture off of MLS, and they will render it in like an architectural drawing or some other theme, and you can have the dates of how long they lived in the house that they just sold, and then the new house that they just bought with that picture of it, like 123 Any Street, Bellamini residence, established, March of 2024. That gift, I do it occasionally, not all the time. People love it. Anyway, lots of great ideas there for you.
If I could add to that, I have a client that's going to close soon, and his last name's Smirnoff, and her name is Margarita. So
Seriously.
I'm gonna get him a basket that with some Smirnoff vodka and some margarita mix and some tequila.
I love it. That's personalized, right?
Yeah.
That is personalized. That's fantastic. I bet their holiday parties or any parties are fun at their house. Boring stuff, but this is important. Legal considerations. I can't cite it, but part of our code of ethics with NAR, there's some legal considerations with gifting. You can't gift to get business. It has to be like it has to be a gift as thank you for choosing me as your realtor for congratulations on the closing of your house. So I'm just going to say read the legal considerations. One other thing that reminded me of on the social media posts, the videos, if the property is not yours, you need to ask for permission from the listing agent to film. And in your post, you must reference the listing agent and brokerage. This usually wasn't a big deal to us until in our community, people are getting calls from NAR and CAR or from that broker that is with Compass. And somebody from Caldwell Banker did a social media post on that Compass's listing without acknowledging who it is. Just make sure you're doing that so you can stay out of trouble. But social media posts, reels are great for if you're going on broker tour. Hey, check out this listing on broker tour today. ... And then say, listing is with Compass. Listing agent is Jane Smith. You got to give them credit. On the seminars, the seller seminar and buyer seminars, the reason why I really encourage you to do this once a quarter, and by the way, I give you ideas on how to establish your objective, choosing the date. Choosing the date is very, very important. Picking your venue, how to market your events, how to plan your presentation, having handouts and materials, whether if you're doing a Zoom seminar, you want, digital assets to give. People love snacks and swag. So if you have an in-person event, give you some ideas there. Also, reminder that fortune is in the follow-up. The event does not end at the end. It continues by you following up. And then I go into seminar topics. The buyer and seller seminars, the Prop 19 downsizing seminar, and fire hardening seminar. So there is somewhat of a resource list for you on how to launch these seminars. Tell you they're very, very effective. And most of the time they cost you $0 because you're using a space that's provided by your lender or your title officer, or if you're local in Carmel, you can use our office. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It can only make you money. That's for sure. So I encourage you all to develop something that you can actually put into play, like a specific sphere of influence calendar, like the one I'm providing. And even if it's, you don't have to start off full throttle. In fact, I would say probably don't start off full throttle because that's a lot if you aren't doing anything now, going from 0 to, for example, what I have on the calendar, that's a lot, right? So take little bites and just start one thing. Pick one of those activities and do it. And then 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, add something into it. Supplementing this lead pillar with your Zillow leads and with investment partner will keep you busy, and you won't be sitting scratching your head, where am I going to get that next escrow from? They'll start coming.